Finally, finally, the San Antonio Spurs have won a game. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Okay, maybe I was overreacting a bit, but man, after a 5-game losing streak, and then the Spurs played 5 games last week against the Nets and lost in overtime, then lost to the Knicks, the Rockets, and the Cavs. It felt like, when are we going to get back in the winning side of things? And they beat the Clippers last night to finish the week 1-4. And let me just say, no NBA team should have to play 5 games in 1 week. That included 2 back-to-backs. That's ridiculous. But it is what it is. Spurs fans, I'm going to get into my version of a report card. While I'm doing so, drop a comment down below what you liked about last week, maybe what you didn't like. Hit that thumbs up if you like to support the channel, and subscribe for more Spurs content. Let's get into it. It's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Anyway, starting off with our point guard, Mr. Triple-Double, Dejante Murray. What can I say about Dejante? He had a great week. 35 minutes per game, 49% from the field. Dad's three-point percentage was down, but 8.8 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 24.6 points per game. And after never scoring 30 points or more in a game in his career, he goes for a career-high 32 against the Rockets, and then follows it up with another 30-point performance versus the Cavs. And in that Rockets game, we saw a different Dejanti Murray. Just in that fourth quarter, I believe he scored 19 of his 32 in the fourth quarter. He wanted to will his team to the win. He went full Black Mamba and was just doing everything he could to get the Spurs a win, but just wasn't enough. His team, the team just didn't have it. And I really like what I saw from Dejanti, an aggressive Dejanti Murray scoring when the Spurs needed him to score. Can he continue that pace at 24.6? That's asking a lot considering the rebounds, assists, and steals he already does for, all the other things he does for the team on the court, but I think he could be a 20-point per game guy. Moving right along, getting some starts, and welcome back, Devin Vassell. I thought this was a good and bad week for Devin. I like the 7 rebounds. Made some nice defensive moments, and for the most part, Devin's defense is always spot on. But the field goal percentage at 31% and then 3-point percentage under 30%, we're going to need a little more from him with those type of minutes if we're going to win some games. This is probably just an anomaly of a week. I'm sure he'll be better moving forward, but this is a rough week, at least shooting-wise, so that's how rated Devin, good and bad. Up next, Keldon Johnson. Keldon finally out of his shooting funk. Don't fake the funk and the nasty dunk. Thought this was a good week for Keldon. This is the Keldon Johnson I'd expected to see throughout the season, which I feel like he's having just maybe a little bit of a down year. I thought he would average or get about 50% or better from the field. I didn't expect his shooting metrics from three-point lane to be what they are, but nice seeing back at the 47% mark and hitting all his free throws. I really thought he'd be like a 50%, 40%, 80%, and in doing so, he would average the 17.7 or more points per game we see here. So hopefully Keldon can keep it going, average 18 moving forward throughout the season to be a second scorer to Dejante, as Derek's been kind of up and down. Really, everybody's been up and down throughout most of the year, but we need a guy. I feel we need a guy that can get 18 to 20 a night, and maybe Keldon can be that guy now that we're halfway through the season. Moving right along, welcome back, Doug Mcdermott. Only played 2 games, and Dougie, it was ugly. 22% from the field, 33% from beyond the arc. Wasn't even hitting his free throws. Granted, he only took a few, but 66%. That's not what we're looking for with Doug Mcdermott. The effort was there. I know you guys could say, well, Rich, he came back from health and safety, so he's probably rusty. But you know what? A lot of guys came back from healthy safety. Dejante, Keldon, Derek last night, and they looked like they didn't miss a beat, whereas Doug just looks way off when shooting right now. Hopefully he can turn things around this week, because if he keeps shooting like that, he could lose his spot in the starting lineup. He doesn't give us much on defense. The effort's there, but he's not a defensive stopper. So Devin's been starting. So if Doug keeps struggling from the field, maybe he loses the spot. Who the heck knows? Moving right along, man that had an interesting week, to say the least, last week. Jakob Poeltl overall I thought was a good week, while his scoring was down a little bit, under 10 points per game. I like seeing the 10 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.8 steals, and 2.3 blocks. He was kind of a Swiss Army knife last week, giving us a little bit of everything. And he even hit 54% of his free throws, and if he can hit 54 or better for the rest of the year, I will take it, because he had been way under 40% for most of the year. Also interesting week for Jakob is there's a lot of trade rumors spreading around the old interwebs that the Toronto Raptors are looking to bring him back to Toronto. What would the Raptors have to give up? Precious Achiuwa and somebody else may cap. Some people have said OG, but I've also seen other people say no way the Raptors would trade OG. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. The Raptors are looking to maybe bring him back because they've been on fire lately. Jakob also missed last night's game because of back spasms. Hopefully this is just one of those short. I don't know. I'm awarding a Terry, one of those injuries that just keeps you out for a small amount of time. All right, welcome back. I'm saying welcome back a lot because we had so many guys out. Lonnie Walker came back, and I thought this was a good and bad week for Lonnie. He was aggressive, creating his own shots. The athletic moves in the paint, love seeing that. 14.4 points per game, yes, but the shooting percentages, and I feel like I'm a broken record here, but if you look at the stats here up on the page, a lot of our guys struggle from the floor, which is probably why we went 1-4 last week. Lonnie only shooting 36% from the field and then 22% from beyond the arc. If we're going to win games, our guys really need to make their shots, and a lot of our guys struggled to make their shots last week. K, B, D. Man, this dude, I got to say, KBD, for the contract he's got and what my expectations were going into the year for K to beat today up, he has impressed me. 25 minutes last week a game, 53% from the field, even hit about 46% of his three-pointers, made all his free throws, gave us 6 rebounds, and 9.4 points per game. He has been excellent as a role player off the bench or a spot starter. I'm looking forward to him coming back to the team next year. He's really developed a nice little role in Pop's system. So KBD, man, you have exceeded all expectations. And Dejante Murray doing what he's doing, I'm not too surprised with the DeMar Rosen gone. I really thought Dejante would up his game this year, and he has. My biggest surprise right now this year might just be KBD because I did not expect the type of production we're getting here and there from him, and certainly did not expect him to go for 30 against the Lakers and have a perfect shooting game. So KBD, props. Up next, Jacques Landale, who got his first NBA start last night with Jakob Poeltl being out with back spasms. Broken record. I feel like he also had a good and bad week. And good, I liked what I saw a lot on the floor. I liked him that he was shooting. And 8 offensive rebounds last night. I love that. So great job there. The shooting metrics, though. 35% from the field and 25% from beyond the arc. Another one of those guys that struggle from the field. I do like the fact, though, he's a big man that hits his free throw. He hits a high percentage of his free throws and shot 86% last week. So just an up and down week for him as well. Once our guys can start maybe hitting some of these shots, we could start seeing some weeks where the Spurs go 2-1 or 3-1 or at least 500. Hopefully no more weeks like this where they go 1-4. Actually, hopefully no more weeks where they play 5 games in a week. Last but not least, NBA champion, Bryn Forbes. Yeah! I don't know why I did all that. Anyway, Bryn, I thought he had a good week too. Doing what we brought him in to do is score. 23 minutes per game last week. He didn't play last night. Just maybe got the night off for rest. 56% from beyond the arc, nailed all those free throws. Plus, he chipped in a few assists, rebounds, and steals too. So overall, 14 points per game, and actually had one of the better plus minuses on our roster that you can see here of only minus 0.5. The minuses weren't horrible across the board, but we were 1-4, which means we were losing a lot of close games. Anyway, Spurs fans, let's get to the bench. Derek White, welcome back. Came back last night, 25 minutes, a 19-4-4 line. Plus, he also blocked 3 shots. Hit 3 of his 5 3-pointers, and I think he took a couple charges as well. So Derek looked fantastic last night. Hopefully that Derek will be the Derek we have moving forward, because if he plays like that, we can do okay. I think I read one, Dejante and Derek play together because they've both missed some. They're 15. The Spurs are 15 and 18, which is not great per se, 15 and 18, but it's a lot better than a record now, and it shows just how really I feel like we're one player away from really, being a dark horse in the playoffs. We don't have that one player yet. I don't think it's Zach Collins. Hopefully it is, and he proves me wrong. Could it be a guy in the draft? I don't know. Let's go up next. Joshua Primo. Played in all 5 games last week, and he got to start 3 times, which is exciting, but he clearly is not ready for prime time yet. He's not prime time Primo yet. Really struggled from the field, shooting only 30%. Made some mistakes here and there offensively and defensively, but he's 19. And I don't know right now moving forward if it's better to give Primo 10 minutes off the bench here and there, or send him back to the G League where he can get 30-plus minutes per game. I'm kind of leaning towards the G League. He just doesn't seem ready yet, and he's still obviously extremely young. We're still out Trey Jones. When Jones comes back, I think he's going to take Primo's minutes. I'd rather Joshua get some playing time than do nothing on the bench. Speaking of Trey Jones, didn't play a game, out and helped the safety protocol. Next, Dreary Banks played in 2 games, had quite a few inactives and did not play, not because of any health or injuries that I know of, just because he hasn't been playing well. He played just about 20 minutes per game last week, gave us 4 points per game in those 20 minutes, but he rocked a minus 11 in both games. It seems like when Drew comes in, the wheels just fall off. I don't know why. Or maybe I do know why, and I just don't want to say it, but just not a good week for Drew. And I don't know if he's going to be at the Spurs next year. I think he's still under contract. It's a small contract, so I could see them maybe just trying to package him in a trade, or could they just buy out his small contract? I don't know. I like Drew. Maybe they'll keep him here just for depth. He's a good guy. Seems like it. He's fun to watch when he's in the zone, which is not too often, unfortunately. But when he's throwing down the thunder dunks and that, anyway. Up next, Zach Collins, back this week. Seriously, when's he coming back? They said after Christmas. Well, we're there. Christmas 2022. Is he going to be ready to go after the All-Star break? Really, I'm surprised, or maybe not surprised. The Spurs are so quiet right now on his timetable to return. They gave us the after Christmas, and now it's just been silence since then. Silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Okay, anyway. Thaddeus Young did not play. He's not going to be a Spurs sooner than later, whether it's a trade or a buyout. He's obviously done with the team. Joe Wieskamp, you know what? Played just a little last week, 2 games, but he did hit 75% of his field goals and 75% of his three-pointers. Actually, maybe all the shots were three-pointers. I don't know, but he gave us 5 points per game in limited action, but he's back to Austin. And last but not least, Devontae K. Cock. 3 games. Actually, he impressed me in limited action. 14 minutes per game last week. Shot 67% from the field. Grabbed 5.7 rebounds. And again, that's in only 14 minutes, so you double that. That's he's a double-digit rebounder, and he's a big dude in the paint. He also averaged a steal game plus 1.3 blocks and 5.3 points per game. Is this a guy that should not be getting sent back to the G League again? By who the way, I think the other night lit up whoever the Austin Spurs were playing for like 31. To you Spurs fans, should Devontae Kaycock be on the active roster? This is an undersized team that gets killed on the boards, and a lot of times we're bringing in a whole bunch of guards. We're bringing in Bryn Forbes at the same time as Trey Jones and Lonnie Walker. Well, we're just very undersized. Should Devontae be getting more? Should he be on the Spurs roster and getting some playing time? Right now I'm leaning towards yes, and maybe giving one of our guards less playing time. Whoever it may be, I don't know. But we need some rebounding. We give up so many second chance, third chance, sometimes fourth chance opportunities in the paint. And Devontae could help grab some of those boards. Spur of the week. This should be no surprise to anybody. It's Dejante Murray. What an incredible week he had. Even though the team went 1-4, just seeing that don't give up killer mentality he had at the close of some of the games. I liked what I saw. I think even last night against the Clippers, I think he had a few big buckets with Derek White. Just Dejante feels like he's tired of losing. In an interview, he said, I don't care about the stats. Something I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember what he said exactly, but stats don't matter. It's about winning, and they're not winning right now. So, man, I'm impressed with his performance this year and just curious to see how much further his ceiling can be, because I did not see him being a scorer like he is. But that mid-range jumper's been working. When he was in the zone against the Rockets, he was just draining some threes left and right. So, Dejante, keep it up. And looking forward to see what he can do this week. Speaking of this week, San Antonio Spurs fans, we got up next the Phoenix Suns. Oh, boy. OKC should be a win. And then the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets, I think Kevin Durant's dealing with an injury. I'm not sure if he'll be good to go. As this game is I believe it's in San Antonio. That means Kyrie Irving will be available to play. He can play road games, not home games. Don't get me started. So this is a week that I don't see us going 3-0, but maybe we can go 2-1. Hopefully not 1-2. Well, you should have pretty much our full roster ready to go, as long as Jakob's not going to miss any more time. I got to assume Trey Jones is going to be back any game now as well. So my plan is to call the Suns game, the OKC game, the Nets game. I'm canceling cable this week. I'm getting fiber optic Tuesday, so I'm going to go from 200/5s to 500/500. So that's obviously going to be a huge boost to my internet. Boost! But I might just keep my cable for a couple more days and have it cancel Friday night at midnight, so that way I can at least watch the Spurs and the Nets, because after I cancel cable, I won't be able to watch the Spurs and Celtics and Spurs and Nets anymore because of blackouts with the NBA Team Pass. Anyway, I'm rambling. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Hope to see you tomorrow night in the chat for the Suns game. Until next time, what you gonna do? Wait, that's my live closing. I got confused. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, go Spurs go!